Hello, everyone. This is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome today to another paper pumpkin kit alternative video. I sure hope you guys are going to enjoy today's video. It's an interesting card. I try to when we do the paper pumpkin kit alternatives, I really try to find some like easier cards. I don't like to use that term because it makes it sound like other cards are super complicated, and I think that everything is about practicing a little bit. So but these are more straightforward cards, and so I enjoy making some of this just for us to have some actually interesting alternatives. It's Friday, guys. I sure hope you join me. I'm giving like a couple more minutes here to see if somebody's going to join me. If you are joining, say hi. Let me know where you're from. And how's the crazy weather your way? We're still having a lot of rain here. And again, we never complain here in Colorado when we have rain, but a lot of it. Let's see while the others join. A few announcements. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I would love to really spoil you. And hey, hi, how are you, Judy? How's it going? I hope you're doing great today. And I was saying that I do have a nice reward system. So it starts with a free catalog. So if you're interested in a catalog, please send me an email with your address to maria@mariascraftingcorner.com, and I will send that to you. And then I do have this gift for this month. If you buy $50 or more before shipping and taxes, not taxing. So just putting it out there in your for your knowledge. Let me see. Let's go back to the crafting table. Let's see if we do this transition less dramatic. Oh, look at that. I feel so professional sometimes when I do these things. So this is going to be, like I was saying, a simpler, not simpler, less. I used such a fancy word like 3 minutes ago and I forgot about it. It's fine. But it's going to be a fun fold that we can work pretty simply and pretty easily together. And let's get started. Let's see. I was thinking of kind of creating our own cardstock like we've done in the past, but I am just going to keep it simple. We're going to do a piece of white cardstock, and this is, ooh, oh, how cool. That is super awesome, Miss Judy. I am busy doing the same cards. Here and there. What can you do, right? Like I wish I had more time to make more cards, but I am very thankful for my job, and so sometimes I'm like working, and then all of a sudden I'm like, these cards I have in mind, or I wonder how about these would go with that, and I get easily distracted thinking of cards. So that's me in a nutshell. Again, so we're going to start with this piece of white cardstock, and it is an 8.5 by 5.5. And we are going to go ahead, bring our trimmer. We're going to score these at 4.25, which is that half of 8.5. And then we are going to move actually these to 1.5 in here, and we're going to cut it. Hey, Donna, how are you? Oh, where are you going to, Miss Donna? Oh, that's so nice. I thank you for being here. How you received it? I am so glad you got it. That makes me happy. Yeah, I was very happy to see that. Did I do this incorrectly? Am I talking too much? Sometimes that happens. We all know. No, I did this correctly, guys. I was so concerned. I'm always talking and I get distracted. Okay, so again, just for a recap, we got an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. We scored in half, so at 4.25, and then we cut a piece of at 1.5 inch. So we just trimmed that off. Very simple card layout. So we're going to leave this in here for 1 minute. I'm going to bring a piece of, I know, Miss Judy. Oh, nice. That sounds beautiful. So Donna is going to Old Time Village in Ohio. That sounds very nice. I am going to see my chickens here at the end of the live. That's my plan for the day afterwards. Okay, and so we're going to create some layers. If you have not been here before, I do like to make my paper pumpkin kit alternatives with only what's in the box. The only thing I allow myself to bring is my tools, and either white or black cardstock, and sometimes I bring both. My assumption is that you have some sort of tools, right? A cutter, scissors, what's the name of this? A ruler if you don't have a trimmer, some adhesive, just like kind of that is my assumption. And white and black cardstock are pretty regular, I think, in a crafter's life. So that's why I use these. So let's go back to here. So we said that this is 4. We cut it 1.5, right? And I am going to bring this in here actually to make my measurement and make sure I am correct. And so this piece here is 3 3/8. Just kidding, 3 3/4 by 5.5. And so we're going to cut a piece that's going to measure. I'm thinking how to save the most out of it. It's going to measure 3 5/8. Yeah, 3 5/8. That's just making, same as always, an eighth smaller. I'm seeing something here wrong, so let me check my measurement real quick. I was right the first time. So 2 5/8. I'm sorry about that confusion. 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. And that's our first layer. This layer is going to go in here. And the reason why I'm doing this backwards, so I've been doing black and then white, it is because I'm going to layer some of the envelope area, and I want it to be against black so it's more noticeable. So that's our first layer, and our second layer is going to be this one, and that one is just a regular 4.25 by 5.5, and so we're going to do 4 1/8 by 5.25. Okay, and somehow I managed to get rid of all my black paper, and let me bring more. Let's hope this works. I just brought a little piece. Okay, so we have those two. Now we are going to need a last piece that is going to measure 3. I'm going to cut this in 3 by 3.5. So 3 and 3.5 in white cardstock. Okay, and then we're going to score here at the 3.5 side. We are going to score at 1/2 inch, and I'm using the right side of my trimmer because that just makes it simpler. Okay, so I think we have our pieces. This should be a square of 3 by 3, and we are going to bring our last piece of black cardstock that I got, and we're going to cut at 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so I think we got those cuts already set up. Let's move all the little pieces out of the way here. Now let's bring our cardstock. I'm going to be using cardstock, our card bases. We're going to be using these beautiful one. I really like this one too. And we are going to kind of do the same thing. So remember, that this black piece was 2 5/8 by 3 by 5 3/8. Sorry. So I'm going to go to 2 5/8. That means 2.5. So we're going to cut this at 2.5. That's going to be our first cut. Okay. And now we are going to cut these at 5 1/4. Whoops. There we go. And just because I have to. Oh, really? It's a very simple cardstock, but I'm glad I'm keeping you intrigued, Dawn. Okay, so this fits okay. Remember, measurements will be down in the description below when I'm done with these, probably later, because then I'll have to take care of dinner. So this was, same as it has been with the Paper Pumpkin Kit, a, how would you say it? Quick. I'm trying to think for the right word. Well, an improvised set. We need a last paper of piece, and I just remembered that. We are going to cut a 3. And I want to say, no, that's too big. Let's do 3. I'm going to do 2 1/4. I like that 2 1/4. And I actually like this piece. Let me see if this, yeah, I think this is going to look okay. So this is, then again, this is 2 1/4 by 4. It's not 4, so I'm going to cut it at 4. So this last piece that I just had an accent here, I don't know if you can tell. Somehow it got broken, so I'm not going to use that piece. Go and again, 2 1/4. Not sure what happened there. Huh, how weird. By 4. Oops, there we go. And it's just the 16th, really. But I am cutting my 4 because that's just going to make it easier. And of course, now this stuck in there. There we go. And we're going to bring that piece that we have here. Oh, yes. You know what, Donna? I really, it reminds me of lakes here in Colorado too. Just again, this kit is one of my faves. And now we are going to need a 2 1/8. Actually, I'm going to cut another piece of white. Yes, I'm going to cut a piece of white that's going to be 2 3/8. 2 3/8, am I correct? Yes, 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. So bottom line, we have 3 different layers: white, black, and color, or designer series paper, quote unquote. So we are going to bring this piece and we are going to align here. And since the other one was 2 1/4, this is going to be 2 1/8. And I'm cutting that. And just as the other one was 4, this is going to be 3 7/8. And again, guys, don't forget that. Okay, you guys know I do this a lot. I want to keep kind of this centered, and so I am going to cut. Let's see. Let's start with a half here and a half on top, and a half on top. Okay, and this takes us to. We need to get to 3 7/8, right? Where's my little piece? Here's my little piece. So we still need a little bit. I'm going to cut, I think this is about half, but I'm going to cut, let's see, 1/4 inch there and 1/4 inch there, and see if we are able to get a little bit of sky, a little bit of the river. And I think we managed, and that's good. Let's see. Let's use the black one, which is actually We need tiny bit more. And since we have more on the water side, I'm going to cut an eighth. And I think that's going to fit us at the right measurement. Okay. I think so. So we managed one. Let me bring the envelope that kind of matches this paper or this card base, which is this one. And I'm going to cut these, same as we've done in the past. Just, okay, let me make sure this is one. It felt very thick for some reason. I always align these to the 16th here on my right side of the trimmer to cut it. It's just a little bit easier. I have never been to Spearfish Canyon, but it sounds beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and cut in here too, the same 16th, just to make it simple to get that piece of paper. Okay, I'm trying very hard to grab this, but it's kind of rebellious. And now we are going to go ahead and cut here. So that half, we want this area, mountain area. And I'm going to cut this one too because we're not going to need it, and it just makes it easier to cut. Okay, so we need a piece for these, and this was 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So this needs to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And the first thing I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to cut 2 7/8 just because it's easier. I don't know if you can tell, guys, but I cut right in the middle, like, of the score line. So I'm going to remove an eighth from there. I just cut 2 7/8 to give me a little bit more of an idea of where I want to cut that extra eighth. If I want, I really want to have this higher mountain, so I'm going to cut on this side, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut here at 3/4, which is what we're going to cut. And I'm going to align these again on this side because, like I said, I want this higher mountain there or top there. And I'm going to align these on my right side at, well, actually here is the same thing. I'm going to align at 2 3/4. Very, very simple. Okay, and now we have those layers. The last layer we're going to work in is the layer from in here. And as you guys can tell, this is a quarter smaller, and we are going to keep it a quarter smaller. I'm okay with that. So that means that these, I'm actually going to cut a little bit of the blue instead in here. This needs to be at 5 and 1/8. Sorry, guys. I don't have my cheat sheet today. I was kind of working on the card on my brain, and I decided to go live. So yeah, that's me, guys. You know that. And it looks like I need an extra. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Judy. Okay, we'll catch up later. I don't know if you can tell, I have a little bit, I need to cut a little bit more. So I'm going to cut on this side. I'm going to start with an eighth because that's my go-to, right? Eighths are easier. And that works perfect. So in the end, this piece is going to measure, we said it's 4 a.m. Yep, it's 3 7/8 by 5 but 5. So that's good. Okay. And we need one last piece that I chose one of the pieces I have around here. This piece is, I'm going to cut, it's 3.5 by 2.5. And I think that will work perfectly. So we have all our pieces together. Let's go ahead and put these puzzle together. Here is our card base. And we're going to start little by little. These two go together, so I am going to bring my Stampin' Seal Plus and start adding it around our pieces so we get them all adhere. I love these pieces. I think it's a combination of the colors and of course the mountains and the lake, and yeah, it's all so beautiful. And this is an eighth, not an eighth, a quarter smaller, and you guys know I usually use eighth, and so I have to be extra careful when I have when I am aligning, when I am not aligning, centering my pieces, and there's an actual quarter difference, and this one is an eighth, so that's a little bit easier for me. Okay, so there we go. That looks beautiful, and I do like how it looks the other way. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've been doing black, white, and color, and now I'm doing white and black, and I like it. It does really pop up and like really frames this area. Okay, we're going to put our other pieces together. So this is our first piece for here. Let's go ahead and adhere our Stampin' Seal Plus and center this. This is an eighth smaller. And I'm bringing this one here. And like I've said before, it is so much easier for me to really see the whole card when it's horizontal. So I make less mistakes and align this better for whatever reason. Now making sure I'm doing it on the right direction, and it looks I am. So let's go ahead and add this one. So we have one panel. Whoops, and there it is. Okay, and then, oh guys, I made a little mistake. I was moving too quick. Oh, somebody was playing. Let me get my other, here it is. We'll fix it here in a second. So no, here it is. Sorry, I have all my pieces here. I worked too quick. This is the piece that was 3.5 by 3 that we scored at a half. We are going to really burnish that fold. And this is where my mistake is. This has to go in here, and I'm sorry about that. I was moving too quickly and did not do this well. So I am disconnecting this a little bit. Nothing happened there. Not a whole lot happened there. So we're going to use this here. And because this, I don't want this to, move a whole lot since I made my mistake, I'm going to use some glue. Glue will absolutely work. So let's start with this piece. I folded Bali from this perspective, and this is going to go in here and close that way. Okay, so I am looking at aligning this as best as I can here with this edge, centering, and I think that's pretty good for an accident, huh? Okay, so this piece is going to come here. Seems pretty straight. And now we're going to decorate this piece. And this is the one that's going to go here. And let's bring the other little piece from the envelope that we cut. And this is going to go in here. So that's what I was telling you guys, that I wanted the white and then black, because I did not want this to be against white. I've said this in the past. The white in our paper pumpkin kit is a little bit different from our basic white. And so it's just like contrast, and it's noticeable to me, so I don't like it. But before we glue that, I am going to bring my stamp set, and we are going to adhere something here. And I'm going to remove this. I'm checking to see which one I want. I think I'm going to leave that Cheers to Another Adventure. Let me bring it up. Whoops, sorry guys. My blocks were stuck with something. I'm just going to put it like this. It'll do. Where is our copper clay? Here's our copper clay. Copper clay is the color of the stamping spot included in the kit. I always bring my big pad because it does not make sense for me to open the other little pad, right? Okay, so I have this here and I am aligning these as best as I want. I can, and I want, I can. And hopefully this is going to be straight. I'm holding it so it does not move, and I am putting it as much to the edge as possible. You'll see why here in a minute. And my big head is going to go in front of you guys, so I'm really sorry. And that's a little cricket, huh? That makes me so sad. We have another piece in here. Let me see if it will fit. It does not. Oh, it fits. I can't believe that. Let's go ahead and cut this real quick. So this needs to be, we said 2 3/4. That should do. And I am going to bring again these and try to stamp these straight, as straight as possible. My big head is going to go again in front of you. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for me to stamp this straight. And that's straighter, maybe not straight, but straighter. Okay, let me clean that. Let's remove chaos, and we are going to adhere these pieces that we just stamped on here in the black layer. And now we're going to add this layer to the white flap in our card. And I'm making sure it's in the right way, and it is. But again, I always feel that it's much easier if you do it this way. Extend it for you. Okay. That is part of our card. Now, bringing the other one. The other flap we're going to put in here. Oh, it's going to be too thick, too big. So we're going to make this a little smaller. So my goal was to put it more like centered in here, but because this is a bigger sentiment, then I have to move this a tiny bit here. And that means we're going to cut this. And so I think, let's see, this was 2 1/8. Let's go to 2. Let's cut this at 2 and try this out. Nope, it needs a little bit more. So maybe 1 3/4. Oops, let's go ahead. That looks better. So I'm going to bring these. So 1 3/4 is what we cut. So now we go to 1 5/8. I'm just cutting on the shorter side. And I'm making sure this actually fits well. And it does. And now I'm bringing the last piece that I cut. And we're going to cut at 1 1/2. And that actually worked in our favor because I was going to have that, how you call it, the score line for the card in there. And now we just save ourselves and it's not showing. Let's bring our Stampin' Seal Plus to add in here. So I have seen several of these cards in Pinterest. Like I said, when I only see it once, I do mention who I see it from because it makes a lot of sense. But I've seen these several times, and I'm pretty sure that they have probably different dimensions because it kind of works depending on how you want it. The person I saw it last, I think, was in Pinterest by the Pinterest by Lisa Curcio. And so we're going to put this flap in here. And instead of putting anything in here, I'm going to put it in here. And that's just going to be much easier for me, right? That way I know I am not moving away from where it needs to go. And I'm going to center this. So I want these to be more or less in the exact same distance between one and another. So I'm moving this a tiny bit up because it feels like, move it a little bit up there. And thankfully, I think that's straight-ish. There we go. I want it inside our panel here. So that's how this looks. Isn't this super, super cute? And then we'll open it and we have our little piece here that is smaller than this. So we can actually put this in the center and nobody will see it, right? And we're going to put our happy birthday here. The kit brings a beautiful happy birthday. I really, really like the font on this one. And let me see if we can align these okay. Actually, let me bring, where's my other, oh, the one that actually made all that noise was the one I'm looking for now. Okay, so I'm centering it here, bringing my little piece of cardstock, of white cardstock, put it in, aligning it with my grid paper. Oh, thank you for the advice, Sharon. I appreciate that. And I'm going to put it here at the, let's see, in the corner. I like it in the corner so you have more space to write. So let's see. And there you go. That is very, very nice. Straight anyways. So I like this one and I want to put it, I'm thinking, do I want it towards one end or towards the other? I think I want it centered. And that still covers perfectly. So I think I want it centered. Yes, let's do that. But I also am thinking I want this friend. Maybe on top. Yeah, it's too big. We're going to have to leave it there. And let's go ahead and bring my Stampin' Seal Plus. I was just throwing away some trash. And we are going to center this again the best as we can between one and the other. And there we go. And ta-da! You have a very, very cool card that took us, I don't know, half hour to design and to work together. We cut it from the beginning. Nothing was cut out. So very simple, but I think really, really beautiful. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. And just in case, for those of you that are newer here, my paper pumpkin kits are alternatives are always a little bit more on the go, meaning there is less planning for them. But I do appreciate your advice, Miss Sharon. Okay, let me move out of here. Let's see, how can we do this? There I am. Perfect. Okay, well, so the last thing that we need to do is do the raffle for last week's for our last week paper pumpkin kit, and I am looking to get these all set up. It's been glitchy today. It's in the end, it's just a okay, I got it. It's just a, it's one of those softwares that I found in the internet to help me with this. But sometimes it gives me a little bit of a struggle. So let's see if we manage here. Oh, I think we got it. That's awesome. Okay. I think it's working well. Let's see. Perfect. So I am going to add the, like I have done in the previous videos. Okay. And let me move these here. There it is. I love when it shows up in there. And this is going to be the people that participated in that other. And Brenda is the winner. So Brenda, I'll touch base with you via YouTube and let you know, so you can send me your address and I can send you the card. Let's see. Let's go back in here. Okay. Wow. That was quick. I am so excited, guys. You were here with me today. I appreciate you being, such friendly and helpful and supportive. And I hope you like the card. Let me know in the comments if you did. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it. And also remember that if you comment down below, then you will be eligible to win this card next Paper Pumpkin Kit video. So I will be making the raffle each week in the video. So if you were here once, then come back and pay attention to see if you have won the card. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here